Derek Lively shows some flashes. Are the two-way spots set in stone? And let's do a little winners and losers of Summer League for the Dallas Mavericks coming up on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome to Locked On Mavs. This is one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris, contributor to Mavs.com, and Studio 41, the Corner 3. And guys, I'm riding solo again today. Nick just said, screw that. I don't want to do a podcast with you. Just kidding. He's flying back from across the globe to do a podcast with me tomorrow. It's the only reason he's flying back is to do a pod with me tomorrow. But thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen of the day. And if you're watching on YouTube, I got a comment for you below. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Share it with somebody this week. But leave a question, leave a comment below. Are the two-way spots set in stone? And if there's a player outside of Lawson, McKinley Wright, and Mike Miles that deserves a two-way spot, which player should that be? Which player, other than those three, should be considered for a two-way spot? Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's prizepicks.com, promo code Locked On. And guys, if you do subscribe, gosh, this is a lot to say at the beginning. If you do subscribe to our subtext, thanks. That's a cool way to not only support us, but another way to kind of stay in contact with us as we shoot out some of our episodes. We shoot out rumors, latest reports and stuff hitting the interwebs and Twitter. Somebody drops a cool written piece that one of us reads. We'll drop the link in that text and shoot it out and say, hey, you should read some of this. It has some cool math stuff in it. But yeah, subtext, go to the description in our podcast, either on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. There'll be a link in there, the number you can text and get signed up for that. So thank you. I feel like I need to drink a glass of water now. The Mavs wrapped up Summer League. It's over. It's kind of sad, to be honest. This was a fun Summer League. This is a fun Summer League to watch. Nick got to head down to Vegas and catch the first two games. So he had some cool stuff, some YouTube shorts, some stuff on the pod. If you've been listening to the show, as Summer League has went along, it's crazy seeing some of our numbers from Summer League that the fan base is pretty excited, to see Derek Lively. How often do the Mavs have a lottery pick? But they have Derek Lively, they have Omax Prosper, which we've talked so much about. and Jaden Hardy, who got to play in some games there before they sat him down. But overall, fun Summer League for the Mavericks, and it was kind of capped off by this Hawks game on Sunday night. So I'll talk a little bit about this Hawks game here in this opening portion here, and then we'll do some winners and losers of Summer League, kind of for the Mavs, or the pretty much all the Mavs. But I have a little fun with it at the same time because. You know what? We're all just hanging out here. It's for a lot of you guys. It's a Monday morning. You're headed to work. Some of you are like, dude, I'm dreading my work day today. Well, hopefully this podcast makes your day a little bit better. If you want something to make you laugh, somebody out of all the generous comments that I got from you guys, thank you so much. Somebody said that it looks like I have mascara on and I have cat something for my my eyelids. Guys, I've had long eyelashes my whole life, so sorry. I don't really know what to do about it. And I don't know, do you get those trimmed? I don't know. But there you go. Never had that comment before, so thank you for that. Let's talk about this Hawks game a little bit. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. This game was basically a consolation game. Didn't really matter too much. Didn't really matter at all if you care about the Summer League playoffs there. But Mavericks win this game 101-80. And yeah, I mean, the Mavericks, once again, I mean, they lose one game in Vegas, and it's that opening game in which Omax and Lively were on the minute restrictions because they were kind of late to the party and being able to be official Mavericks and all of that. And yeah, I mean, you have to ask yourself, I'm like, would they be undefeated if Omax and Lively got to play the whole time? Maybe. Don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, so now they head home. I think the championship game tomorrow is like the Rockets and Cavs or something like that. It's like Amani Bates versus Cam Whitmore. We get to see this awesome Houston core that will all log less minutes than Dylan Brooks. So shout out. I'm sure those fans will enjoy that. But yeah, this game, Omax, Prosper, Derek Lively both played a little over 20 minutes in this game. So nothing too crazy for them. Jelly Walker, what a fun guy to have on your team. 22 points in this game. He hit 5 threes. He kept this game fun in the second half, and he's just a lot of fun. Him and Taze Moore both. I shot this tweet out during the game, and I was like, I don't really know what Taze Moore is at the next level, but you never forget about him on the floor. And no, it's not because he wears a headband. It's because he does good things on the floor. And I'm like, you're kind of, I just don't know what he is. Somebody said Justin Holiday. Somebody tweeted at me, said Justin Holiday. I'm like, no, it's not Justin Holiday. He's more athletic. He's more like he's kind of like unleash the guy out there and just see what he does. But yeah, I don't know. I do expect him in camp for Dallas. I probably expect him in Frisco. If I'm taking a guess at that. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. Jelly Walker was a lot of fun. And there are a couple of little moments in this game that I wrote down that I was like, all right, this is a cool takeaway. Omax got called for the offensive foul in this play on Kobe Buffkin with his elbow when he kind of brought his arms over on the drive. But Omax did a Euro step that once again got called for the offensive foul. But I thought the Euro step footwork was pretty dang good. And just goes to show you that, again, he can do a little bit more off the dribble than I think a lot of people thought, including myself. Really big Omax fan, if you didn't know that. But still, he's a little, I mean, like doing a Euro step on a fast break, and it was a pretty good Euro step. It's just the arms that, just caught, Buffkin there in the face, which I think is kind of a bogus call, but whatever. And yeah, I just thought that was a cool, just a little glimpse of what he can do. I thought overall he probably pressed a little bit too much in this game. He's a little chaotic, a little just too much. Maybe it was his side of like, this is the last basketball game we won't play until late this fall. So might as well just go haywire in this game. So I thought it was the least contained he's been in a game. Some turnovers here and there. What about the jump hook from Derek Lively? This has been one of my things that they've kept him in a very, very defined role in Summer League of like, hey, set a pick, roll to the basket, defend the paint, rebound, block a shot. I mean, that's what he's going to be asked to do at the next level. But there's been a few moments where he's caught it in the paint that I've wanted him to just go up with it just a little bit, little Rashawn Holmes, like floater push shot, or do a jump hook or something. And he had a couple. It's like, whoa, all right, he's got a little nice touch with the jump hook there. Remember back like a week ago, whenever I said my prediction was for him to hit like 3 threes in a game and everybody freaks out? Yeah, that didn't happen. All right, so I thought they were going to like let him unleash some threes because yeah, remember that pro day clip of anyway. So there were some moments tonight. The Lively jump hook over the left shoulder, nice touch, looked really good. His lobs, he caught a couple lobs tonight. They were nasty. Caught one off the rim. That was awesome. They're like, are you just going for the rebound? No, you're dunking it right now with your long arms. He's going to catch, lobs all day from Kyrie and Luka. I don't know about this year. I don't know what his role. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get with Luka and Kyrie, but when he does play with Luka, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, just think of the bigs that Lucas played with. I saw a stat the other day, and it was like, these are the top bigs in pick and roll last year. And it was literally Christian Wood and Dwight Powell. And I think the stat was being tossed out as like an argument for like to show how good Christian Wood is. I'm like, all right, both of these guys just play with Luka. Like, you play with Luka, you're going to look really good in the pick and roll. So I want to see Lively play with Luka, and Luka just serve it up to him on a silver platter, and us have highlights for days and days and days. But overall, fun for the Mavericks, fun for us to see these guys. Let's talk about some winners and losers and have some fun with it coming up right after the break. But first, this show is brought to you by, drum roll please, if you're watching on YouTube, you already know what it is, Prize Picks. Prize Picks. When I was looking at Prize Picks earlier today, I was like, all right, how many different categories can I have some fun with on Prize Picks? Let me just toss out. Obviously, you have some NBA, you have some Major League Baseball. Shout out to the Reds right now, De La Cruz. NFL is going to be coming up. But here's some other things. We have Formula One. Everybody loves this. League of Legends. Okay. Call of Duty. Rocket League. I'm all down for some Rocket League. NASCAR. Okay. Not really down for that. But Frisbee golf, cricket, Korean baseball, and you're not ready for this, competitive eating, the hot dog contest that just happened. You could have played Prize Picks for that. So, Prize Picks. It is. How does it work? You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they score more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. They offer projections in so many things that I talked about, listed off a little bit ago. And here's the thing. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's literally that easy. It's safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational over 30 states and Canada. You can download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. You deposit $50, they'll give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code Locked On to sign up or for an instant deposit match up to $100. Dollar bills. That's Prize Picks. All right, dang it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Here we go. Ready? Bingo! Y'all love these transitions when Nick's out, don't you? All right, no more transition music. All right, question for you. Have the 3 guys done enough to keep their two-way spots? AJ Lawson, McKinley Wright, Mike Miles just got his two-way spot the other day. Mavericks made that official. Have they done enough? Have they locked that in? I would say Mike Miles just signed his, so I would say that's kind of a lock. I would say AJ Lawson's is a lock. I think what he's shown, he didn't pop off the page a ton early on. His first game or so, but I think he finished strong in Summer League. And once again, if I have to default to something, I'm going to default to size on the wing. And AJ Lawson is size on the wing. He's an athletic wing in that 6'6" to 6'7" range. And I'm like, hey, sign me up for that. I thought he shot the ball decently well. Thought he drove the basket. I want to see him defensively more against some better talent. But yeah, I think he's done enough to at least have a two-way spot. So that comes down to McKinley Wright. And I think that's going to be the easiest one for people to kind of target because he got hurt. I thought he was playing well before he got hurt. And it's kind of unfortunate that he got hurt in that capacity because now you look at some of these other guys that play kind of well. You look at Jelly Walker. You look at Taze Moore. And you say, all right, should one of those guys get one of those, two-way spots or get that two-way spot from McKinley Wright? I don't know. Maybe you leave it open for camp. Maybe you bring a handful of these guys in and say, hey, battle it out in camp for that third two-way spot. Maybe it's just McKinley Wright's. And it's like, hey, it's still yours, man. Like, you've been working out here over the offseason. Or, which the Mavericks have done this in the past. They did it last year too. We see him go out and get somebody the next day. As soon as Summer League's over, we see him go out and sign a player from another team. Kind of like how Denver did Braxton Key. They signed him to a two-way contract. So we could see any day now, maybe when you're listening to this podcast on a Monday, that the Mavericks signed X player from another team to a two-way contract. So therefore, one of those guys for the Mavericks would have to move to a camp invite or go to another team. So we'll see. I expect AJ Lawson. I expect Mike Miles to be on two ways. McKinley Wright's the only one. If I had to guess, yes, I think he still keeps the spot, but it wouldn't shock me if that spot went to somewhere else, because you also have to ask yourself, like, how many small guards do you want to have in that spot? That's the only argument against somebody like a Jelly Walker of like, all right, now 2 out of your 3 two-way spots are going to be, 6'2" and under point guards. I would rather have shots on the wing if possible, like shots like flyers. All right, let's have a little fun with some winners and losers of Summer League. What do you want to start with? Did you say winners? I think I heard some of y'all say winners. All right. Winners, the rookies for the Mavs: Max Prosper, Derek Lively. If you had to ask for anything in Summer League, going into it, it was about Jaden Hardy. It was the Jaden Hardy, hey, offense, let's see what kind of step he's taking. I'll talk about him in a second. But the next thing for the Mavericks, we've at least seen Hardy play basketball. We hadn't seen Max and Derek Lively wear Dallas across their chest. And man, was that a lot of fun. If there's a big win, big takeaway for Dallas and for Mavs fans coming out of Summer League, it's that Max Prosper, Derek Lively played pretty good basketball, showed some promise, and showed that, hey, they're going to be fighting for some rotation minutes. And honestly, I think Max Prosper is in the rotation next year. I don't see right now, as currently constructed, how Max can't be in the rotation at this point. Let's see what happens with Lively. I personally would have him in the rotation too, but let's see what happens with the center spot that we're all waiting on and all of that. Another winner of Summer League, the jerseys. I know it's super, super casual, nothing too extravagant for the Mavericks, but I'm not going to lie. The white and the blue and some of the black combo, I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it was clean. I thought it was minimalist. I thought it was simple, but I thought it looked pretty good on the court. So I got to give some shouts to that. Another winner of Summer League, Jared Dudley. I have never heard, every single time Jared Dudley's name got brought up on the broadcast, every single time, they didn't lead with his NBA career. They didn't lead with him being an assistant coach for the Mavericks for so long. They didn't lead with, hey, he's friends with LeBron and all these people. So many of them led with ACC Player of the Year, Jared Dudley. Like, what? What's the limit? Like, how far do you have to be removed from that to where that's your leading thing of, he played in the league like 14 years, right? And I'm like, all right, are we still riding like the ACC Player of the Year? I think he was a big player. I think he's a big winner of Summer League because I thought he coached well. I thought his players played hard for him. Arguably the only reason they didn't go undefeated is because Lively and Max is on a minute restriction. His mic'd up thing showed a lot of the personality of why people love him. And yeah, I think he's a winner of Summer League. And he won Player of the Year in ACC when he was in college 15 years ago, and it's still being talked about today. Another winner, Taze Moore. Didn't know much about him. Now I do. So I think he's at least going to be in camp for Dallas, and I'm happy for him. He plays hard. He makes plays. Yeah, shout out to him. My last winner, Michael Rubin. Who are you? I didn't even know who you were until he held this like fancy party for all the famous rich people. And I'm like, bro, I don't know if it was a fun party, but you at least had a lot of cool people. Then he held another party in Vegas. I'm like, okay, Fanatics. You have a role in Fanatics. Some of you might know him more than anybody else. And you're like, hey, you're dumb. You're an old man. It's just showing your age that you don't know much about Michael Rubin. I'm sorry. Maybe I am. I didn't know much about him at all. And it's like, who's throwing this party? That DiCaprio, Brady, and, Grant Williams, of all people, like, who's throwing this party? Michael Rubin. Okay. Wow. So what's he doing again? Big winner of the week, because there's a lot of people like me Googling who is Michael Rubin. Let's take a quick break. And then I got to talk about I got to talk about the losers for Summer League in the Mavs, if that's possible. All right. I guess I got to do let me do the little music for Nick here. It doesn't start over? What? All right, there you go. That's enough. All right, losers for Summer League. I got to start off hot with the Kings. Yeah. You traded us. Well, let's go back. You have to watch Luka Doncic in a Mavericks jersey as you know, Bagley's plan for the, I don't know, Motor City wheels. So you have to watch Luka. Then you trade us Jaden Hardy, which Nick was on this podcast talking about people he sets with in his media section at Mavs games, because remember I said up top, I don't like people, so I sat by myself. No, I sat with Bobby and them. But Nick was talking about how some Kings people we're talking about how when Jaden Hardy does well, there's text that goes throughout the organization when Hardy does well. And now they get to enjoy Omax Prosper. And then the cherry on top is if Rashawn Holmes can be something like good for Dallas, which would be kind of funny. But I just want to shout out the Kings. I mean, they have to. I mean, I get it. You gave up Rashawn Holmes, gave up the first round draft pick to do. They're banking a lot of continuity. They restructured Sabonis' contract, all that stuff. Did a bunch of other things. Brought back HB. But yes, there you go. Another loser of Summer League, Jaden Hardy's efficiency. All right. So a lot of us were really excited about Jaden Hardy. I can't put Jaden Hardy as like a loser of Summer League. I just can't, because he did have some counting number stats that were okay. He chucked up shots. That's what they wanted him to do. I think he's playing a little bit too out of its role of like, hey, having all the offense centered on him, saying, hey, go create, go play some point, go do your thing. They kind of wanted to experiment with him, and they did. His efficiency took a shot. And yeah, let's look at some of his shooting numbers here. I wish I could share my screen, but I can't. I'm not on Zoom. Let's look at some of his jump shots here. Jaden Hardy, he was 36 all field goal attempts. He was 19 of 35 from the field. 19. No, actually, he missed 35 shots. He's 19 of 54 from the field. That's a good 35% field goal percentage on that. Let's look at some of his 3-point shots. Jaden Hardy, according to Synergy, was 7 of 29. That's 24%. He chucked up shots. All right. And I'm not worried about it. Once again, it's just if you were in the camp of wanting Jaden Hardy to come to Summer League and be super efficient and drop 35, 40 points in a game, be shut down after 2 games because he's just showing everybody I'm on a whole different level this year. It wasn't that. So I had to put something there in the losers of Summer League. But once again, it was deficiency, not him. Another loser of Summer League. The media who hated the Mavs tanking 2 games. Tough week or so for you. Really tough week. Because the Mavericks lost those 2 games at the end of the year, everyone freaked out. Shout out to the comment who thought I was serious on the pod the other day of saying, the Mavs invented tanking? What are you talking about? The Spurs just did. I'm like, all right, joke. If you were media and you're in the camp that you hated the Mavericks losing those 2 games on purpose and you thought the Mavericks invented tanking and did something so disgraceful to the game, then this was a tough week or so for you, because Derek Lively looked pretty good. Omax Prosper looked really good. And Rashawn Holmes is still just on the roster, and let's just see like what happens at this point. None of that happens without Dallas getting the 10th pick. Nothing. We can even, there's even going to be like ripple effects from it, because now they've moved Exum, Seth Curry, some of that into the MLE. They've opened up the biannual. What if they use the biannual next year, which is only like, a little over $4 million? Well, if they use the biannual next year to like get somebody decently good that plays in the rotation, then that's another ripple effect of them losing those 2 games to get the 10th pick, because obviously the 10th pick allowed them to move down 2 spots, dump Davis Bertans, get MLE money. Trade exception, Rashawn Holmes, 24th pick, Lively, Omax. So yeah, loser of Summer League, the media who hated the Mavs tanking those 2 games. No loser of Summer League, Jarris Walker playing Omax. Jarris Walker looked like he was the 20-something overall pick, 24th overall pick. And Omax looked like he was the 7th overall pick. So kind of tough for Jarris Walker going against Omax. Lastly, another loser of Summer League, the Mavs graffiti jerseys. Mark, can we get your son a different jersey? Please. I guess he loves the graffiti jersey, but we were reminded once again of the travesty that once was that the Mavericks wore those jerseys on the floor. I'm sorry. Mark, I'm sorry that I hated those jerseys that much. I know it's tough, but anyway, I'm excited to see what these next city jerseys look like. I think that's a bow on Summer League. We have a lot of stuff that came out over the past few days. Since Nick has been gone on vacation, that we've yet to talk through. And I was waiting for today's pod, but Nick just bailed on me, and just let me do the transitions over here. If you think I should take over the transitions and all of that from Nick, just let him know. All right. Just let him know, because we know how smooth it is whenever I run this thing. There's still stuff with the Bojan Killian Hayes rumor from Tim Cato that we got to talk about. We got to talk about Mark Stein's mention of Capella and the Mavericks still waiting on him. We still got to talk about, there's a few other things. I listened to, if you're like me and you can't listen to like live radio too much, Mark Stein puts his Saturday show, Saturday, I think Sports World's what it's called, but it's on 97.1 The Freak. And he puts that in podcast format. He had Tyson Chandler on there talking about Derek Lively, but he talks about some other things too. And there were some tidbits from that I think was pretty good. Tim McMahon talked the other day. We got to talk about the MLE stuff now that Exum's in there. What's Exum's role going to be? So, we got to do a little water carrying for the Mavs, because the national media's got the Phoenix Suns held down on that. And I guess we should have put the Phoenix Suns as a winner for free agency or winner of Summer League, since they replenished all their draft capital. Excited for those second round picks. This is what you get whenever I'm just solo and I can just take shots at the end of a pod and kind of go from there. And here's the thing, guys. We're just talking to each other at this point. Y'all can't tell Rashad Phillips that it's a joke on Twitter because you're ruining the sarcasm part of this. I got him again the other day, and I tweeted something. I think it was on LeBron. I don't know. It was something. It's about Cam Reddish. He responded again. He was like, "They'll see." I'm like hyping up his young T-Mac comp for Cam Reddish, and a couple of y'all coming in hot and it's like, "Oh, you got you." No, you got it. We got to keep this thing going. All right. So chill, laugh, like it, whatever, enjoy it, but don't ruin the fun, because I'm waiting. I'll wait for the right moment to call it out. But also shout out to the guy on Subtext who shot us a text and said, "Hey, he's a coach of my boys' team. He's actually a pretty cool dude. Hey, you should ask him." He could be a cool dude. If you don't know, you should ask him, is Alonzo Trier like available to help you coach? Maybe Trier can come in and help y'all's little league team or upward team. But yeah, just ask him about Alonzo Trier and just how good he is and all of that. That's a little advice I can pass along there. But guys, it's been good. It's been good hanging out. Some of you probably hated this pod. Some of you might loved it. But those are the winners and losers of Summer League for the Mavs. Put that bow on it. And now the Mavericks can head home. And we don't have Mavs basketball. Get your tissue box ready for a very long time. So we're looking at October. Mavericks take that international trip. So you dang right, we're going to use this excuse all day, all season long, baby. That the Mavericks lose a game in early March. Well, it's because they went to an international trip. It's because they went to Madrid. That's why they're so tired in this game. But yeah, they're going a couple of places over there, playing a couple of games, and I shouldn't say little. They're big time games. I'm really excited for them, and yeah, that's that. Nick will be back tomorrow. We'll talk about some rumors, trade targets, and all the fun stuff you guys like talking about. Appreciate you. Talk soon, baby.